After finishing the demo install, all Windows Update needs to be run again. Several Windows Update are required for the .NET components, and I'm now going to show how to install the web client in here. First thing to do is to go add another server component in here, or a role for your server. So I'll go add a role, and next, and I want to add the web server component, but I also want to check certain components in here. So most of the features that I need is in here, but I need the ASP.NET, and I need those to be added, and it automatically checked the .NET extensibility for me here, and these two components of IS API extension and the filters down here. The other thing is, under security, Windows authentication needs to be checked, but else everything else is default. So I'll just go here and click the install. This one is a pretty simple install, just adding an extra role for your 2008 server. And again, this one would have to, after this install, to run Windows Update again to ensure everything is right. But you don't need to do that before testing the install of the NAV web client. So the installation is succeeded, so I can close this one. Then I will go to my NAV folder, where I have my build extracted, and I'll run the setup program again from in here. I'll add or remove a component, and I want to add the web component down here. So I will say run that one from this computer, and then I will go ahead and look at the optional setup in here, and it's just that it will open up the demo site when it's actually done installing. And I get the same warning as before, that I don't have Outlook installed, so there'll be one component that can't be installed. This one shows one of the standard errors that seems to happen every time it's installed, and we're actually going to make a correction to this one, so it will work after we've done this one. If I view the problem report here, the Outlook add-in is the only component that didn't install. So let's look at correcting this problem in here. And there's a document describing this one, but mergetool.com have made a script that actually solves all this one. So if I download this file here, I'll just download it to my temp folder in here. There's this script in here, and it's important to run that as administrator if you run it on Windows 7. But in 2008, you already logged in as administrator properly, so you don't have that issue here. So, but it goes through two processes to correct the binding, so everything is set up correctly for the Internet Information Server to connect to NAV. And this process takes a little time, so just have to wait a little here. One thing, by the way, to verify that the Internet Information Server works after installing it is you can actually just type localhost, and it will show the welcome page from the Internet Information Server here. So, but this one is working right now. So the setup finished, and now it's restarting the Internet Information Server, and then it's starting the NAV server again. So now it launches, and now it come up and ask, and I'll just log in as administrator here. And I'll just say remember my credentials, so I don't have to type that every time. And now the normal demo database message come up. I'll close this one down here. And now I'm inside NAV in the web client. And the web client is really powerful because it looks very similar actually to how the Windows client looks. So if I go compare these two, I'll see I have kind of the same ribbon. It's look very similar with in the individual pages. So if I look here on sales orders, and see the ribbon looks very similar. The scroll bar here, of course, is a little different. But down here I have a next and previous button, so I can actually get to the next page down here. I can get into a single sales order. Looking very similar to what you used to see in here. The nice thing about this one is it actually posts exactly the same way through the service tier as the Windows client do. So there's really no difference in performance or anything like that one. So if a user only need a little access or maybe only look at data and post orders and so, this one is kind of a perfect interface because there's no install. It's also going to run, or it is running right now, on Safari, meaning it runs in an iPhone browser and on an iPad browser. It also runs in Chrome, so it will be all the Android phones and inside the Chrome browser also, and it's also going to work perfectly in Firefox. So it's going to be a very powerful option to use NAV for the users that need a little access but don't need it all day long, for example.